Hello, everybody. It's Tuesday, but sadly, the roll of tape isn't here because no TTMs at all, good, bad, or indifferent, came back. However, this works out well because there's still going to be ink this Tuesday because this is a 200 subscriber video, VR rather, video, for Stuke's Baseball Cards and Curiosities. And that channel name doesn't quite do it justice because it's not just baseball cards. It's it's all sports, it's all things, it's from all eras, a lot of vintage stuff that I've never heard of. One of the best collections in the YouTube world that I've seen. Link to him down below. Please make sure to go sub him up if you're not already. And for his 200 sub VR, he asked if you had any professional athlete interactions, because he was talking about some of the ones that he's had over the years, and there were some rather big names, and it got me thinking there were quite a few professional athletes that I have run into over the years through various forms or fashion, and I'm trying to get slightly organized, so through the various card shows here in Rochester, they always would bring in professional wrestlers from time to time to do autograph signings. So that's where I got to meet like George the Animal Steele here, and that's the picture that's on the wall when I flip the camera around for Jank Pack Thursday. Another one of those shows also I met, for all the wrestling fans, Tito Santana and good old Greg the Hammer Valentine, who I always usually make a Valentine's Day joke about. Then there was a lot of like professional athletes that I just ran across, but I didn't get them to sign anything. We used to see, where I went to high school, we used to see Bill Cowher running the track and going to the girls' basketball games because his daughters were playing in them. So you'd see him in the stands all the time. When I went to the Super Bowl in Detroit in 2006, I weirdly bumped into Carl Lewis in a shoe store in the mall in Detroit. That was very odd. Ran into Heinz Ward at a gas station outside Pittsburgh. But there are a lot of good football player interactions. Just a couple, because there's a lot of photos that are everywhere. Got to meet the legendary Mean Joe Green at an autograph signing back in, I think, 96. He was there with the original front four. It was him, Joe Green, Dwight White, Ernie Holmes, and L.C. Greenwood. Got all four of theirs, and their photos are somewhere because I'm in the process of organizing. And back in the day when you actually would have professional athletes doing signings at random places, I got to meet Hall of Famer Mel Blount at the opening of a Track Auto in Pittsburgh. So, always got that. It was just so weird. He was there, I think, at another signing at some car dealership. Myron Cope, the broadcaster, was there. I met Jack Ham and Jack Lambert and Andy Russell at a signing. Do not remember which folder those two are in, but actually on the back. And for people that may remember Kaufman's, that's where I got to meet Jerome Bettis probably the year after he came to join the Steelers. So that would be 96 or 97, one of those two, I can't remember. But he was doing a signing there. Got him to sign a picture, and then downstairs I actually have a t-shirt that he signed. And then since he's always on the semifinalist list, but I think he definitely deserves it, I got to meet Marty Schottenheimer at a banquet for Joe Bugle. Had him sign this card for me. One of the greatest coaches, rest in peace. And speaking of which, at a date, I know when it was, because I wrote it on the back. On June 25th, 1995, at the Johnny Majors football camp at the University of Pittsburgh, I got to meet College Hall of Famer, University of Pittsburgh graduate, and Atlanta Falcons great. Shout out to the other half of Zach Squared, the better half, Bill Fralick. I got to meet him at a football camp. He was one of the instructors. And one of the most humble people I've ever met. You know, he just very nice, down to earth, talked to everybody. Rest in peace to him as well. What a great football player he was. And this last one, kind of a curiosity, so I saved it for last. back in, let's see, what was it? Because I have the raffle stubs. In 1999, March 14th, 1999, my dad and I drove from Pittsburgh. This would be my senior year in high school. We drove from Pittsburgh down to Baltimore because there was a raffle in which the grand prize was a 67 Corvette convertible. But as you can see on the ticket stub here, winning number to be drawn at 5 p.m. on March 14th, 1999 by NFL Hall of Famer Art Donovan. The Baltimore Colt legend, Hall of Famer, one of the most entertaining people ever put on this earth. So I brought with me this copy of his autobiography, Fatso, which just the book in and of itself is hard to find anymore because it's been out of print, but go through here, and I do keep this bagged. Got to meet him, and he signed the book for me, and on top of that, gave me probably one of the greatest Hall of Fame zingers ever. Because we were standing there, just conversing with him for a few minutes, and my dad said, Mr. Donovan, my son wears the same number as you do. And it was true. I was number 70, as was he, for the Baltimore Colts. And he looked me up and down, and yes, I'm a larger fellow, and he said, Jesus Christ, you look about as slow as I was. And that was the first time an NFL Hall of Famer zinged me. There was others. No, just one other so far, I think. But either way, I close out this rambling thing with just the shot of one of the greatest things ever. Like, kids would just walk by and look at him and say, that's a Pro Football Hall of Famer? Yes, he was. And one of the best defensive tackles that there ever was. So, again, Stuke's Baseball Cards and Curiosities. Down below, link to his channel. Please check him out. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Let me know what you thought. And we will see you very soon.